let me see. Oh, it gets to this shit right there. Okay, boom. Yo, what up, YouTube? Tipping culture by my boy Dangerosity. You feel me? Okay, how do I put this? I've never really left a tip before at any restaurant, like, ever. Cause like, how do I put this? Okay, I've never really went out to eat before with like without my family, if that makes sense. So like, I've never really had to pay for shit. That's like what I mean. So like, I've never really went to the restaurant like by myself just eating or some shit. Like, I've never really done that shit before, but I know about tipping and shit though. You feel me? But let's get into it though. You feel me? Shout out to Generosity. Oh wait, hold on. Like the video on Photo Gray. Y'all like this video too on YouTube. Photo Gray. Road to 100 subs, man. On Photo. Look at
tipping. A generous act of courtesy you do when you're more than satisfied with the service you were provided.
Yup.
And you give them
and you can tip with anything when it comes to restaurants. If you Uber and some shit, you feel me?
a little extra money. Usually you give
haircut. Like I tip. Well, does tipping does tipping count like with a haircut? Because I mean, I be tipping my barber sometimes. You feel me? The shit fresh as fuck, and I really fucking with the cut. Hey, boy, you know, I give him a tip.
It's to your servers at restaurants, your barber,
exactly.
And strippers, just as a way of telling them you're doing a good job.
Yeah,
go get yourself a nice pair of undies. And this overall thing is practiced all around the world. It's not exactly a foreign concept for anybody. Tipping is a normal thing, but no place on earth lets it give out the tip more than the US of A. We go X Games mode with the tipping over here, cause we be giving everybody tips. We tip our delivery drivers, taxis, bellhops, housekeeping, house movers, bartenders. If you're an in-person service, then most likely you accept tips. Even my homie's last job at the gas station where he just pumped people's gas, he got over $100 in tips in one day.
Shit, cutting somebody's grass, boy, your ass get tips. Anything, folks. Like, say if you like charge like $25, $30 cutting grass, right? Your ass might be fucking around, get like $5 or $10 extra just for cutting somebody's grass. Like, anything you do in life, any little job or whatever you do, get tips, boy.
Hey, I didn't even know people tip for that. We love to tip everybody except the homeless. But has it gone too far?
Yo, that's actually fucked up. Oh no. That's actually fucked up. Think about it like this. You be so quick to tip a restaurant or like your barber or whatever than the homeless nigga. They don't even be asking for much. They'll accept some fucking pennies. Yo, that I ain't gonna lie, that's fucked up. Damn, our society fucked up.
Let me go off real quick, but I've been seeing tipping options where I've never seen them before, like counter services, you know, cashiers. I've never heard of tipping cashiers.
Oh, you got me fucked up if you think I'm finna tip a fucking cashier. The fuck?
But those blue blocks on the iPad beg to differ. One time I went to a concert and I went to the merch booth. I got a hoodie, bro handed me the hoodie, then turned around his iPad for a tip. Now I know these people don't get paid too well, but what in that interaction concurred a tip? Did he slip me $100 bill in a hoodie that I didn't see? I don't think so. So nah, I don't think I'm gonna tip. But I would usually see these in local businesses most of the time, so that's all fine and dandy. But I've heard Starbucks is also doing tips. Now, I don't really go to Starbucks because it's just not for me. I like my coffee a certain way. I like my coffee how I like my men.
What?
Long, black, and Vietnamese. And no offense to you Starbucks employees out there, but I'ma treat y'all like McDonald's and Burger King. Like, why would I tip the drive-thru cashier? That just sounds unnecessary. And as long as those restaurants are not asking for tips, then I'm never gonna tip. Don't get no ideas, please. However, I understand why these workers would want a tip, though. They work low-wage jobs, and sometimes they got families to take care of at home. So a tip or two would make their lives a little bit easier. But I'm selfish. I'm not trying to tip at Wendy's, bro. But I know that day will eventually come. I can smell it. This is the US. We'll somehow incorporate tipping into everything, so the employers can justify why they're paying their employees minimum wage. And whenever someone doesn't tip, they get mad at us instead of the business that's giving them a non-living wage. That's why tipping is super pushed. So restaurants, for example, can pay their waiters low salaries to encourage them to aim for tips. So the waiters have to be as upstanding, top of their tippy toes, holly jolly of a worker as possible to try to get ends meet, so the customer can walk away feeling happy about the experience, the owner of the restaurant being happy because of the profit and good look of the business, while the wait
exactly, because it's like a finesse when it comes to like the bosses and shit and the owners of the restaurant, because now they gonna get good stars. Like, oh my god, they customer service is so well, they so good, they take care of you, they ain't rude at all, knowing damn well they only acting top notch and so nice to your ass because they want to tip. You think they want to act like that, folks? Come on.
Waiters walk away with a $2 tip and food stamps for a salary. Or at least that's just my theory, my game theory. Now, people that have never had a job might say, ain't that a good thing? It makes the waiters actually try to do their job well, bro. Ain't nobody wanna work minimum wage, period, bro. In this economy, doesn't matter if I'm getting tips. All it takes is one bad day of penny pinching tips to be like, well, Scoob,
Facts.
I guess we have to eat whatever's in the fridge tonight. I should know. I used to be a waiter. I was a waiter for weddings and other events in my late senior year, and my wage was decent, 15 an hour, and for a high school student, that's pretty good. Plus, I only worked on the weekends. Man, this job was gonna be a breeze. But that was only because I was a kid. I ain't need that much in the first place. All I thought is, if I can afford food, sold. But to spoil the fun, most of the time I did not get any tips or very little tips. And 95% of my gigs was at weddings, so the food was already paid for. I was giving these niggas free food and I got nothing. And I was always all nice and shit. I was never mean. I was all like, hello, hot diggity day, what would you lovely people like to have? I thought I was doing a good job. I even shaved off my hair to be more presentable, which is something I still regret to this day. Don't cut the hair you love for no jobs. Unless it look like this, you might get no job with that. I did get tips sometimes. The biggest tip I've ever gotten was $40 from a table of old white women and a gay dude. And from then on, they became my target audience. I'd always pick the table with the gay niggas, cause I know they'd give me the biggest tip. And me complaining about small tips might sound like a trivial problem, but I'm talking about like in the grand scheme of things of this kind of job. Like if I was an adult with this job paying bills, taxes, rent, all that, I could not live like this. I know this because I had co-workers in their late 20s, 30s, 40s who said they couldn't take care of themselves with this wage. That's why they sold drugs on the side. That's why we should hold these businesses accountable to have higher wages for their employees so they don't have to rely on tips anymore. We must rise against this corrupt business practice. Who's with me? Hey, you're just saying this because you just don't want to pay tips no more. Well, duh. I don't like tipping. Who does? Who wants to pay more of their own money when they don't have to? I'm not a misogynist, a masochist. Wrong word. I am the other one. I'm not saying I don't tip. I do. But mainly because I want to at least try to balance out my good deeds with my bad ones when I'm in the pearly gates. I'm not trying to go to hell because I didn't tip my IHOP waitress who so happened to be battling cancer and diabetes that one time. I'm trying to get to heaven. But if I gave zero, darns, dangs, or I would almost never tip. I would look at the bill, then pay the bill, then end it there. I would only tip if I received outstanding service.
Facts.
You know, most services nowadays are just average, regular stuff. Nothing to point out, but you still supposed to tip. In a perfect world, I would only tip if the person is enthusiastically nice. Fast service, give me a back massage, and also pay for my food. Then I would tip. I can understand tipping delivery drivers because they also need the money to pay for their gas, but that can go with the higher wage argument that I said earlier. And if they show up mad late, then I don't have to tip them. We should bring back the 30 minutes or less or the food is free rule. I'd start ordering food from Russia on purpose. Save myself a stack. And like I said earlier, I know these people need these tips to survive. I know they have mouths to feed. I know. I feel you. But in the back of my mind, I know I have mouths to feed too. My own mouth. And tipping is slowly taking that away from me. Now I'm gonna starve. And remember earlier when I said tipping is not a foreign concept? Well, apparently it is to most countries. Every time I look in the comment section for a post regarding tipping, 90% of the comments will be from foreigners saying, well, over here in Timbuktu, Jumanji land, we never even heard of tipping. I didn't even know Jumanji was a real place, but it sounds like heaven if they don't tip. And it makes me think the people of the U.S. here are purposely fucking me with this tipping shit. It's to be expected we tip 20 to 25% of the bill here. You have a better chance pulling a gun on me and robbing me because that's the only way you're gonna get that much money out of me. And I've been seeing news reports about how there's a spread of self-checkout machines with tipping options. Who the hell am I tipping? Mr. and Mrs. Walmart themselves? Why they need my money? Why they need a tip? Any self-checkout tipping machine out there could suck the tip of my pee-pee. That's what you could do. And like I said earlier, I do tip my delivery drivers and waiters. I do. But I hate tipping. I bloody hate it. If I could abolish it, I would. Damn. However, I know it's the right thing to do. Or at least I was raised to believe if I don't tip my waiters, I'm a which I don't really believe now, but I begrudgingly admit tipping won't kill me, so I still tip. How much I tip? None of your beeswax. And even though I tip most of the time, I'm not gonna tell y'all you should tip. You could do whatever you want with the money you've earned. Like, I could be spending my money on helping the children in Africa and building houses there. But how else am I supposed to pay for my drip? I need money for my clothes, man. Those kids in Africa, they're not gonna pay for me. But yeah, those are my thoughts on tipping. Employees need better pay so I can stop paying. And in conclusion,
Element of surprise. Did you pray today?
Did you pray today?
Because if you didn't, I'ma have to you down on some gangster shit.
I'm about to dick your ass down some gangster shit, boy. Shout out to the Generosity W video. Like always, my nigga. For now.